Tomorrow show. 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 Oh yeah. Yeah, we're good. Yeah. You got that singing. You gotta sing that live, right?
The Tomorrow Show.
Oh shit, that's probably good.
Woo! The Tomorrow Show.
That's awesome. Yeah. Coffee time. I need it. Will you bring me some coffee, Erin D?
I'm bringing coffee.
AC, you got some coffee?
Nope.
Nah, you got a dog? You got a dog handy?
I got a
Oh
dog
yeah,
on my floor.
got a dog.
Not
Man, I
so-
wish I could bring you a cup of coffee.
No coffee.
No
Done
coffee?
drinking coffee. Done.
You're out. You're off the coffee, AC.
I don't drink coffee after 12.
Oh, okay.
Whoa,
Are you
really?
sensitive to caffeine?
No.
It's just like a new thing you're doing.
Nah, I just don't do it.
Oh.
Never,
Nope.
ever.
Aaron, please mic for me. Just give him a quick punch on the arm.
You're barely in the frame, bruh. I can barely see you.
Scott told me
I
that
miss you.
Scott said that the new marketing research, they want to try it like me laid back, like Fat Joe. You know, like lean back.
Okay.
The new marketing research.
That's funny.
New marketing research.
Yeah. Well, happy Sunday, dude.
Yep.
Happy Sunday to all of you, Twitch community. Man. Here at the start with Snyder. What's up, Snyder?
Hey.
What's up, network? It's happy Sunday to you, babe. Happy Sunday, animals. Happy Sunday, Chicago and the rest of the world. It's 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it's time for the Tomorrow Show, presented by the Hope for Us Network. If you've never been here before, every other Sunday. This is episode 7 of season 2, and you got some catching up to do. There's a bunch of stuff on YouTube archiving our previous season of like really, really lovely episodes as well. Archiving season 2 episodes that have happened, as well as AC's other show, Sign of the Times.
Hell
AC,
yeah.
how was Sign of the Times on Friday, AC? Did
It was good. It was fun.
you have a good time?
It was
Chopping
fun.
it up, talking about music?
Talked for like an hour.
Did you do you did that and you played a show on Friday?
I was at 2 places at once.
That's amazing. You're a magical wizard.
I cloned myself.
You cloned yourself.
Um,
Do we make seasonal drinks like cocoa
Yeah, and
or hot apple?
Or toddies are so good. But I had a hot mulled wine last night,
Yeah, we did. We did have some mulled wine last night. You ever
which
had?
I do frequently make. But my friend added pomegranate seeds.
She had her little mug and she had finished the wine, and then she's like sticking her fingers in there, like.
He's like,
And I'm
what are
what
you
are
doing?
you doing? And then she pulled one out and she like popped it in her mouth.
So mulled wine has
Not mold. That's
Yeah,
gross. That would
mulled.
be. I wouldn't drink mulled wine.
MULLED, and
You mull it. Like think of a mortar and pestle.
sure.
And you grind that shit. But it's
So
not really that either.
I think it's like an old thing, like they used
But
to
that's
do
what
it.
mulling is, right? When you mull the mints,
Yeah, I guess.
you mull it.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I think it's like an old way of making things, but you just get like a cheap red wine, and then you put cinnamon and nutmeg and cloves, and maybe you could do orange peel or like a little pomegranate, a little honey, and you just like mix it up and make it bubble, and then it's all ready, and it's just like more flavorful, yumminess.
Look at him.
Yeah.
Dude, I think he's writing it down. He's writing down your recipe.
He's
Reaching through the screen.
So
Were you writing that shit down?
Who, me?
Yeah. It looked like you were like, I gotta write that shit down.
yeah, it's really good, Snyder. I recommend. But I'm a hot apple toddy. Hell yeah, that sounds great.
Do you like seasonal drinks, AC?
Not really. I don't really. I guess no. I don't really drink seasonal stuff.
You don't like hot apple cider?
I mean, if it's around, then it's.
You don't seek it out
I guess
Yeah.
you're kind of mulling cider too when you're
by putting spices in it, maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah. Spiced drinks. You ever been to the Chris Kindle Market? A Chicago tradition?
I think I went once, maybe twice,
Yeah. I think
and
you might have gone with us once.
I can't go. Can't go anymore.
You can't go anymore?
because it's too
Yeah.
busy.
It's too busy, and I'm getting old, so now like cold weather really hurts my bones.
Well, yeah, if it's like really cold and crowded, it's not. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
And
There is one by Wrigley. I
Yeah,
like the typo.
Skramsky.
I like the typo.
Wriggled.
I would go to Wriggled Field. Did you guys go to Wriggled Field to see the clubs?
They a few years ago extended it, so I think actually
There's one in Naperville too.
I think there's also like little markets around the city now, too, like that are
Oh, really?
related. But
I don't know. Google it or some shit. But we used to go every year and get the little commemorative mug.
yeah,
Then we had
and
like a shitload of mugs.
I liked a tradition of like buying
Christmas
an ornament for
ornament.
us.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a bunch of sick ornaments, sickies. Yeah. Yeah, like little wood ones, little glass one.
Yeah,
I think one's an owl, one's a fox.
we got a lot of
animals. We got a pickle one year,
Yeah,
glass pickle. Do you know about the pickle Christmas tree thing?
no, but pickles are good.
Pickles are
that's
good.
why I got it, because I just like pickles. But I guess it's like a German thing where you hide a pickle ornament. Maybe it was a real pickle before in
Honestly,
the tree.
Maybe Skramsky can do some digging for us on the back end. Maybe he knows.
Yeah,
With his information box.
but
the network.
you like hide it in the tree, and then a kid, whoever finds
Oh,
the
you
pickle,
know all about it, huh?
well, whoever finds the pickle like gets a prize. But I wonder if it was like
Not bad.
actually a pickle, like just a dill pickle hanging out in the tree.
Hey,
Or if
that's
it's
pretty much the ornament.
Yeah.
Pretty much that we got. That one that you see there.
world traditions.
Yeah. An ornamental pickle is placed on a Christmas tree as one of the Christmas decorations. So an ornamental
an extra
pickle.
present.
You get hooked up with an extra present from Santa Claus.
Or have a good year.
Or a year of good fortune. That's pretty cool. Oh man, your uncle got in trouble playing that game. He was probably putting a wet ass pickle on that tree. Wet ass pickle, the song by Cardi B.
Pickle tradition.
Oh, Mike, you
Just like
go to the principal's office,
everything.
Mr.
Hey-o.
Off to the principal's
We'll do a
office.
segment. By the way, Kicker, we'll do a segment on holiday drinks. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Little like, because that's nature, right? Taking things from nature to spice your drink with.
Well, yeah, it's also kind of like it's kind of like a tea.
Yeah, it's kind of like a tea. There's steeping involved. There was what, peppercorns as well last
I
night?
think you can do peppercorns. No, I think she put cloves in. Which
Cloves,
kinda
cloves. Yeah, it was pretty yummy. So mulled wine, not like mold, but MULLED, mold.
Yeah, so we had a little Friendsgiving, and we saw Mike's family on Thanksgiving. What did you do? What did you do, AC? Did you do anything?
What'd you do, brah?
What do you on Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
I didn't do anything.
Did you do your usual your loaf?
I did nothing. I ate that.
What's that loaf called again? It's
I don't even know. It's vegan something.
But it's like got stuffing inside it.
The tofurkey?
Yeah.
Oh, tofurkey. I couldn't think of it.
It's not tofurkey. It's something else.
Different.
Like a different roast. It's really good.
Oh.
It's vegan.
Garden roast.
That sounds good.
Hell yeah! So you got your feast on, but you just chilled and relaxed. That's nice.
Yeah.
You didn't have any you didn't have to go to Iowa or like play a casino or anything like that.
Nope. No shows.
Yeah. You got some shows coming up though, don't you?
Got one more. Last show of the year.
Last show of the year. Where
Go
you
to
playing?
Iowa. Go play. Last show.
Oh, there you go.
That's the one I was probably thinking of.
I'm gonna get this yarn ball that fell before Gandy plays with it.
Okay. There you go. I got to see AC perform on Friday. It was really great show, man. We also got to see some other friends slaying the stage as well. Our friend James Brown that we work with, a band called Home Entertainment. The locals got a new bass player. That was pretty cool to see you guys with some fresh blood.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Great guy. He's a Michigan kid. So
Nice.
It's it works. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I saw him singing background vocals and stuff already. He's feeling comfy.
Yep, he does background vocals, and he's a he's a great kid. He's fun. Yeah. I feel bad. I just because I know music will have rehearsals, and if he hits a wrong note, like I'll just look up immediately like at him, and I don't wear my glasses when we rehearse, but I wear my mask. So you can't see my face or anything. So you just like see my eyes just widen up, and he I can tell he's like, oh God, I'm so, and I have to like tell myself like, if he misses a note, try not to look at him because you're just gonna make him more nervous.
Yeah.
But I can't help it. I guess my ear or whatever is just trained that way to react when I hear something.
Yeah.
But all in all, he's a great dude. He did an awesome job. It's great to have him on board.
Hell yeah. It was good to see you all. And I heard Yvonne say that the Locals has been a band for 25 years.
A long time, right?
Whoa.
Yeah. So like what's wild about that is before you were in the band, the band I'm in, Local Motive, played at the Bottom Lounge many drummers ago. We've had 25 drummers for each year that the Locals have been a band.
It's like
we've been a band for 10 years, so not quite as long. And yeah, played at Bottom Lounge when the Locals were a totally different ensemble, different bass player, different drummer. And it was really cool to see you all in a new formation.
AC, did you guys have tryouts for the bass player?
He was kind of. He was the only one that we really like. First you got to get people there. You know? So we had at least 2 people that kept bailing, or they'd be like, oh, it's this week, I didn't work on any of the songs,
Gotcha.
And he just came in and he knew the whole set, Like, so we were like, all right, we don't really need to audition anyone else. You seem cool. You know, you got anything that we should know about? You know, like, are you
Yeah.
cool? You know, are you a Kanye fan? No, cool, you're in. But yeah, it just made sense. He was just a good fit. And the funny thing about that Bottom Lounge show that the Locomotive and the Locals played, I was actually at that show.
Well, shit.
So it's really weird to, you know, years later to come around and watch that band, not having any idea at all. Years later, I'd be in that band.
Yeah, was that like 6 years ago, something like that?
Yeah,
something wild. Time is crazy.
Down to the point where the drum set that guy used on stage is now my drum set.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, it was like the Locals extra special kit
Like
that you have inherited.
Yeah, he custom built that. So now I own it. So it's really weird to see how that all worked out.
It found you.
Wow.
It saw you at that show. The drum set saw you at that show. It was like, "What's up?
One day,
find you. I'm gonna find you."
One day. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
I watched all of that Wednesday show on Netflix.
You watched all of it without me?
Yeah, Mike like keeps saying this, but he would have no interest in that show other than that it's created by Tim Burton.
I like Addams Family.
But like
I like Christina Ricci.
It's like a high school drama.
Did you watch it at all?
No, I would watch it though, just because it's got if what Erin is saying is true and it's got Christina Ricci in it, then yeah I will probably watch that.
Christina Ricci looks so cute. She has like red hair, like long red hair with bangs and like these cool cat eye glasses.
Yeah, I only know that she was in it because I saw like a
she looks so good.
Internet picture of like
yeah.
her when she was Wednesday all those years ago, and then her in the current Wednesday. But no spoilers.
So
no spoilers.
She just plays like a teacher at the school that they go to. So it's like very Harry Potter-esque, where there's like this magic, kind of like this outcast school is what it's called. And there's all this like, something I appreciate about it is that there's a lot of like calling out of like whitewashing and white supremacy, because the
like
school is right. So they like go further with that. So like the school is near this place called Pilgrim World, and they're like,
ooh,
yeah, which also is like when it came out was apropos. But yeah, the soundtrack is good, the aesthetics are good.
You just think I'd be like,
the
this
writing
is
fine, the acting is not good.
Okay. I'm still probably gonna watch it.
It would be one of those shows that you would come home and I'd be watching and you'd hear it and you'd be like, what are you watching?
I do that sometimes. Not to shame any of your entertainment choices.
Oh, hi, Andy.
But Love Is Blind would be on when I come in the door sometimes. I was like,
yeah,
I'd be like, washing my hands and like putting my shit away, and I'd be like, the fuck are you watching?
Yeah, or like a lot of the like high school drama kind of shows that I watch that are just about like, I guess I watch them because they're about like interpersonal relationships.
Yeah,
but...
I mean, at the end of the day, if you're relaxing and you're taking some time for yourself and maybe you have a chuckle here and there, there are a lot worse things to do than watch some bad TV. So,
but yeah, I mean, it is like, it's still Danny Elfman. Like,
I do like Danny Elf.
Like I said, all the costumes are like so cool. People are going crazy for like the makeup, like what kind of lipstick is Wednesday wearing? And I guess it like sold out the kind of lipstick she's wearing. But anyway, yeah, it's fun. It's just supposed to be fun, and that's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I'm into it. I'll probably watch it if I'm like looking for something to watch when I am chilling.
Have you guys seen, what's that?
What did you say?
Have you seen It? part 2?
No.
No, clowns are freaky, brah.
I just watched the second installment yesterday. And
Are you scared still?
Bill Hader is the best part of that whole flick.
Oh, see, I would see
Bill
it.
Hader rules.
I would see it just for that.
It's because they have the part 2 is like all the kids are grown up.
Okay.
And they all end up going back, so it's interesting to see like what the kids have become, as adults, and then going back to Derry. It's I won't no spoilers, but it's worth the watch.
Wasn't that character named Bill in that? Like, oh, Bill, right?
The main character is Bill.
Yeah, from the first, like I actually haven't even seen the original. Like, freaked me out. I didn't even watch or I didn't even read the Stephen King book because like I like Stephen King and I've read a bunch of his stuff. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Stephen King is actually in a scene.
Oh yeah,
nice.
little cameo
from
the King.
I think that was Alfred Hitchcock like started that. I think.
Well, like showing up in his own
yeah,
stuff?
Where he would like make a little cameo, and Peter Jackson always does it. And what's his name from the Marvel universe? Lee.
Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Stan Lee.
He. I love that though. It's so fun when you're like, oh.
Stan Lee was real fun about it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. He did. He had one for in Mallrats.
Yeah, Mallrats. He was definitely in that.
Stephen King has a new book out that's called Fairy Tale that I'm intrigued by.
I mean, I think for anybody that's not read Stephen King and they got like some assumptions about he's a horror novelist or he is this or that, try something out. Like there are all sorts of different kinds of Stephen King books. There's some that are very fantasy. So there are some that are very horror leaning. There are very suspenseful ones, and then there's like ones that are a mixture, like the Dark Tower saga of his is like 7+ books. It started as a set of 7, kind of like his own Lord of the Rings, but it's also like spaghetti western meets Lord of the Rings meets string theory or something like that.
Wow.
Like multiple layers of these worlds happening simultaneously, but all being held up by this pillar, this tower. And like dependent on one another. So there's a lot of different stuff. He wrote The Shining, which has a very different kind of narrative arc than the film that Kubrick did that a lot of people know. Let's see. There's another one that Salem's Lot is about on the East Coast, Salem, Massachusetts, where like there's all that lore about vampires and stuff like that, witches.
Okay, so this is what Fairy Tale says.
This is his new book, Fairy Tale.
Yeah, it came out in September. Fairy Tale is a dark fantasy novel published September 2020. The novel follows Charlie Reed, a 17-year-old who inherits keys to a hidden otherworldly realm and finds himself leading the battle between forces of good and evil.
Well, all right.
Yeah, there was something though about it that was like
that compelled you further than what you just read.
Yeah.
Oh, I just thought a really great one too. The Stand. The Stand is so great. It's really long, but super cool. They made it into a mini series like for television. But the thing about Stephen King novels and how they translate sometimes, or how they are translated by the filmmakers or the TV show makers, doesn't always hit the same way for me. He's very detailed, so that's one reason his books end up being kind of on the thicker side. But he does have shorter ones if like that kind of scares you away.
Okay, yeah. So he meets a recluse in a big house, and when he dies, he leaves this 17-year-old a cassette tape telling him a story no one would believe. So yeah, it just well,
shit, cassette tapes are still a little bit in
dark fantasy. But yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. I keep seeing it. I don't know.
At AC's show, Home Entertainment had some cassettes.
Did
for
they?
sale,
Yeah.
So it's not like cassettes are totally out.
No, I mean,
Yeah. There is
Yeah.
an underground cassette world.
yeah.
Can't claim to be someone who listens to
I think-
cassettes anymore, but I don't think I got rid of
think
all
I
my cassettes.
I think I have a cassette player.
You still got your cassettes?
I still have some cassettes,
Yeah.
and I have a cassette player in my trunk upstairs. But you know how they get like weird and drawn out and weird
They
sounding
stretch
after?
and
Yeah.
start to warble. Do you still have yours?
Yep.
Yeah, you got like a pretty large tape collection, or
No, not as big as I used to, but I got some tapes.
yeah, I kept like my favorites. I think
Yeah.
there was some like Motley Crue and like MC Hammer. Can't touch this. That's right.
You know, one of the first cassette tapes I had was oh crap, I just forgot what it's called. It'll come to me. Sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, Stephen King,
Yeah.
great novelist. But if you like are scared of big Stephen King books, the first book in the Dark Tower is called The Gunslinger, and it's very short, very easy read. And I don't know, it gave me a different appreciation for him as a writer. But I also like him being up on Twitter, like being about the right shit.
I know.
You
I
know,
was
and
thinking
like
the same thing.
since
yeah.
he's got a huge platform, he's written so many novels, so many people have bought his books and like, you know, have engaged with his art. It's just funny because like somebody with that kind of like social capital or power or whatever, in that Twitterverse especially, like he'll like at politicians or at Elon Musk and like say something that's just like essentially boils down to what the fuck, you know. Or sometimes he'll be very matter of fact and be like, you know, you're a fucking goblin, you know, you suck.
A goblin.
But yeah, pretty cool to get lost in somebody else's imagination. And you know, sometimes it might inspire you to write your own short stories or something like that.
Okay, look at this nugget.
Aw, there's Minicam,
She's,
a little puppy.
Gosh, I'm sorry. Sometimes this app is
Sometimes
a little tricky.
Sometimes apps don't do what you want them to do. Well, it's been really nice catching up with both of you this morning,
Yeah.
this afternoon, this Sunday. Today on the show, we've got some really cool stuff planned for you, as usual. The greatest hits, searching for goodness. This week, we're gonna do a virtual field trip to a restaurant in the Lakeview neighborhood called the 2D Restaurant. Pretty neat piece of artwork, like as a restaurant, which is you'll see more about. Nature's amazing. We're gonna do a segment where it kind of rolls the clock back to the summer when we were out in Big Sur. Big Sur is a national park on the coast of California, the west coast of California, right along the one.
Tons of
Huge,
coastline.
big trees, and just like you look like you're at the edge of the world. So that'll be really fun. We're going to talk a little about like the Spotify end of the year stuff, me and AC for Theory and Beats. Maybe we'll even incorporate our special guest into that conversation because he is a savant when it comes to music. He's somebody that I went to high school with. He was a year older than me, and I looked up to him, always still do, as a guitarist, and his abilities and his ability to like perform as well, not just play the guitar. Really wonderful to watch this dude play. Dan Wade. So he's the Riot Fest art director. He's a musician. He's a co-founder of Treaty of Paris, and he's my friend. And he stepped in last minute to come on the stream this week. So I really appreciate that. Good idea, AC. That was AC's idea.
Yeah.
How did you first become aware of Dan Wade, AC?
You.
Like what in particular though? Like, did I just tell you to check out his band, or did we go see him, or did I introduce you to him?
It was just his name.
It
He
is a
like
good
brought
name.
up his name, and I was like, "That's such a cool name." like Dan Wade.
It is a pretty good name. Solid
No,
name.
It's a cool name, and just he like knew, like, I think the way that I truly met him was through Matt Alfano, Mason's Kids.
That makes sense, yeah, because Ryan Powers, all
Matt
that.
Matt used to put on those like Wednesday acoustic shows at Elbow
The showcase.
and all those guys. Yeah, Ryan Powers, Dan Wade, Murr would be up in the spot, like, you know, all those.
Stephen Francis.
Yeah, Stephen Francis from Model Stranger, like all those guys, you know. Even down to like Kelsey Montanez as well.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that's how I really came to know who Dan Wade was, and then just like always seeing him, you know, around the way, you know, the music communities at shows,
For sure.
this and that and the other, you know, and he's like one of the nicest dudes.
Oh yeah, he's super nice. He's super talented, and he's got that kind of like George Clooney aging thing going on, where he just keeps getting more and more handsome.
Yeah, he's got the Clooney, all right, dude.
For sure, for sure.
He's
And you know, he's a new daddy too. He's got baby Brooklyn, and we'll get to talk to him about all the wild stuff about being a dad and being you know, at the helm at Riot Fest for the aesthetic that they bring, and maybe he'll even talk to us about some like new Treaty of Paris that might potentially be in the works. I don't know. We'll see. I know people freak out about them too. So yeah, it's gonna be a really, really fun afternoon with the Tomorrow Show. I don't think I can go any further though without sharing this one thing that got me through to tomorrow. You know, over and over again, I could probably return to this too if I'm having a bad day. Y'all like Snoop Dogg? Who likes Snoop Dogg? You like Snoop Dogg?
I do. I do.
I mean, Calvin Brodus, aka Snoop Dogg, I've learned a lot more about from AC. I've also learned just more about him from the way he has never stopped trying new shit either. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just wild, man. Like, instead of sitting around with a bunch of money being like, I think I'm gonna go to space, or I'm gonna fucking whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he uses no, don't interrupt me on this, because this is I have a point. It may not seem like I don't have a point. He spends like an incredible amount of money doing things that are like really unusual, and like have like kind of like humor in the idea too. Like the Martha Stewart Snoop Dogg potluck show was really bizarre, but like really fun and like kind of lovely. And then we were talking about all the other random shit last night. I'm working up to what we're gonna actually show.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
But you got Snoopland, and you got
Snoopland.
Yeah, like his like children's YouTube show channel, where it's like there's positive affirmations. It's all animated, like animals and stuff like that. There's positive affirmations, nursery rhymes, and like stuff like that, like little children's songs. And that's all like Snoop just trying to, he's probably asking his kids, like, hey, what should I do now? What do you think would be cool? He's got Snoop Loops. Him and Master P started a Brodus Foods, which is like, you know, a family-owned General Mills basically, and they make food products. So there's Snoop Loops out there somewhere too. I haven't come across a box myself, but you have you seen Snoop Loops, AC?
No, but I've seen his wine.
He's got wine too. I mean, like, he's got some for like pretty much everybody. But this is the thing. This is the thing that made me smile and laugh super hard. Snoop Dogg's got a dog wear line now, and it's appropriately named Snoop Doggy Dogs. And no matter what size, so they're being inclusive with the big dog breeds as well. They got everything. They got all these cute ass dogs, every shape,
Look at
every
all of
size,
them.
wearing all sorts of shit, hoodies, jackets, and all these toys like boom boxes and like big ass spliffs that are burning. Click on that spliff. The dog with the spliffs. Phoenix is checking it out. He's like, Dad, give me that spliff. Dad, come on. I want a Snoop Dogg spliff. Oh, that's so funny. Snoop's doggy doob, probably. Oh man, look at that. Look at that. So I just like went down this rabbit hole of looking at this website and all the adorable dogs and all the really fun stuff. There's hats and like bowls and leashes. Basically, they've made everything you could possibly imagine Snoop Dogg style. But I wanted to read a quote. I wanted to read this quote from Snoop Dogg talking about his dogwear line. I read in an article because it's just so funny. AC, do you have any tips on doing a Snoop Dogg impression?
No, do not do it.
Do not do. Is that the tip? Is that the
tip? Don't.
Just read it.
I'll just read it in my normal. All right. Snoop Dogg. So this is Snoop Dogg saying this. So Snoop Dogg's dogwear line, the appropriately named Snoop Doggy Dogs. I'm sorry. No. That's not what Snoop Dogg's saying. This is what Snoop Dogg said. If my dogs ain't fresh, I ain't fresh. These dogs and their apparel are a reflection of the dog himself. So they gotta look the role of a top dog, you dig? Said Snoop Dogg. And this was launched just a couple weeks ago. So
if my dogs ain't fresh, I ain't fresh.
If my dogs ain't fresh, I ain't fresh, right? Yeah. So
yeah.
So I know what I'm getting Phoenix for Christmas. I know what I'm getting AC for Christmas. I know I'm getting Minnie and
you know what?
Toddy for Christmas. I'm gonna support the dog.
You know what? I wonder if Martha Stewart was like, Snoop, I have a dogwear line. Makes it does really well. What
Probably
if you had a dogwear line?
Probably. Do you know if Snoop has his own weed? He's got to have his own weed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine he has stuff in dispensaries, mostly on the West Coast, but you know, like we got our local girl Mindy, the baker, and her edibles are everywhere. So I'm surprised I haven't seen like a Snoop Dogg pre-roll or something, some sort of edibles from Snoop Dogg at like the local dispensary in Chicago. But
and if there ain't one out now, there will be. Give him time. Dude's busy. He did just buy Death Row.
Yeah, he did buy Death Row. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And you know, I think he does like crazy stuff for junior football stuff in his community.
He's like a coach. He's a coach.
But like he like invests in the league too. He like buys all the gear and shit and makes sure they're like just a top notch like program and stuff. And you just can't look at Snoop and just think about like that arc.
Hi, Nix.
All right, what's up, Phoenix, baby? What's up, buddy? How you doing? How you doing? Phoenix Cam.
Aww.
You're so cute, buddy.
I feel like I've won the Gandalf Award today, too.
Yeah? The Gandalf Award?
Yeah.
He just came to you and sat on your lap?
He also has food on his face.
That's funny. Well, let's get into the show. It was a delightful sidetrack, and enjoy that anytime. Save that, bookmark that, and look at dogs wearing cute stuff and all the funny Snoop Dogg flavor mixed in. So, but without any further ado, it's time for this week's installment of Searching for Goodness. Yeah. So this restaurant that you're going to see in a second is a work of art. The artist is named Mia Lardston. Like there's an art in it. I thought it was like Larson, like your mom's maiden name, but it's Lartson. And The idea of a two-dimensional monochromatic restaurant started in Malaysia about 45 years ago. Owner is this guy named Kevin Wu. Him and his wife, like they had a restaurant that was doing very well in Paris. So during the pandemic, they were like, people can't travel right now, and that sucks. So let's open a restaurant in Chicago, bring Paris here. And so it opened last February, and we had a chance to go there with a couple of friends of ours. And here's just a little short virtual field trip, so you can kind of see what it's like up in Lakeview. And if you're in Chicago, you can stop in to get a mochi donut or some fried chicken or some really yummy Vietnamese style coffee. So yeah, without further ado, let's go to the 2D restaurant searching for goodness. Dude, it looks so marvelous.
Turn this way.
Wow. That's so cool. Pretty cool, huh?
Cool.
Yeah, dude. You know it's crazy too? That was like right up, like across the street. Really like right across the street from where our old office used to be when I first started working with Carl. And right up the street is this Ann Sather's, this other breakfast joint in Chicago that Carl first met me at, like to talk to me about like being like a lived experience mental health advocate. And we had some cinnamon rolls and had a nice breakfast. And I don't know, it's just like seems like one of the first moments of like our collaboration and his thought leadership kind of like influencing my life to the degree that you know, we are where we are now. So it was just kind of a shorter clip, so we didn't like lead with it earlier in the season. But I didn't want the year to end without us getting quick virtual visit in over there. So, you like donuts, AC?
I mean,
I know you do. I seen you eat a donut or a
I was
cinnamon
gonna-
roll or two.
I was gonna say something, and I was like, "Don't say it. Don't say it.
Don't say what.
I'm not gonna say it."
These donuts are different though. Mochi donuts. You ever had mochi? It's like
No.
ice cream wrapped in rice paper. Mochi, right?
It's not always.
It's not that ice.
It's not always ice cream.
Yeah, that store bought mochi that we sometimes get is ice cream, but
yeah,
like we've also had some like more traditional mochi that's like, I don't know, it's like a dough. It's like a chewy dough of some sort, rice dough.
Yeah. So they like incorporate that.
So yeah, like somehow mochi is involved in their donuts where you get this like, it's like chewy but like crispy on the outside, and they're really like delicate and really
So they do
fancy decorations.
The cake donut with chewy mochi, which are Japanese rice cakes made from glutinous rice.
Glutinous rice.
So
there you go.
Yeah. So
there you go. There's that Wikipedia or something like that.
Yeah,
Google
gluten-free
search.
Tapioca flour or rice flour.
Oh man, you should look up a video of how they pound that rice into a paste, because that
No,
there's.
we don't have time.
I know we won't do that today, but I'm saying to our viewers, you know, for a little like extra homework, look it up, because it's awesome. They're like, hey, and they're like pounding it, and like there's like a group of guys, and it's just super fast with their hands.
Yeah.
Remember from Waffles and Mochi?
Yeah.
Waffles and Mochi is Michelle Obama's like children's show that we watched on streaming. It's meant for kids, but it's so fun and like informative. You learn a bunch of shit. So
I guess they're like kind of naturally, like probably naturally vegan mochi donuts, but they're like chewier. They were kind of chewier and lighter.
They were nice. I liked them.
Yeah.
And now I guess it's like all the rage and stuff. And now that people are kind of out and about and stuff more on the regular, it seems like you want to maybe go on an off day. Otherwise, you're going to be like waiting in a long ass line.
And once they're one of those places that's once they sell out, they're out.
Yeah, once they're out, they're out. And I think that's the case for the fried chicken and the mochi donuts, where they make what they make in a day, and when it's gone, it's gone. And you know, if you go on a really busy day, you might also be dealing with people like taking all sorts of selfies, and maybe if that's something that annoys you, you know, go on an off day. You know what I'm saying? So, but check them out. Very cool that they hired a local muralist as well to make it look super dope. It took them like 2+ years to finish setting that space up.
I would imagine it would take a while.
Yeah,
actually,
so well done, y'all.
On to nature.
Yes. Well, and one last note on searching for goodness, just a reminder that these protective factors for proactive mental health, it's like going out into the community, going to some place you've never been and experiencing that wonder and being in awe of something. That can be anything. It doesn't have to be a restaurant, since we don't all have money to go get donuts sometimes, you know. It can be going to a park that is free. It could be going to a forest preserve that is free. And with it getting colder, it can be going to the mall and walking around window shopping. It could be going to a museum that maybe has a free day. There are lots of free days coming up at Chicago institutions that like are world-class places to go just experience wonder and awe and get out of your head for a little bit. A lot of wild shit happening in the world all the time. So be sure to go searching for goodness, even if it's just walking around your neighborhood and, seeing a cat in a window, because that can bring a smile to your face too. And that's not nothing. That's important. So remember all these little things for proactive approaches to your mental health and well-being. All right. Just like going to nature, right? So we're going to go to, we're going to go back in time. We're going to go across the country to the West Coast. We're going to use the magic of the network to take you on another little virtual field trip. This one to Big Sur. And we're going to, show you a little more in this next installment of Nature is Amazing and So Are You. I like that. Just as the beat drops in, it's like it's gone.
Yeah.
So we went to California. Our friends got married. Marty and Kate, they just visited Chicago recently for Thanksgiving, and we got to have some delicious nachos at a local place we love, Handlebar. Handlebar rules. Lots of vegan and vegetarian options if you're looking for another spot to check out. But most importantly, the Big Sur River Inn was right up the road from a really special spot called Fernwood, where it's a campground, and it's very much natural and wild in all the best ways.
It's along Highway 1. It's like south of San Francisco a ways near Monterey. This says that it is 90 miles of coastline.
90 miles of coastline. Damn.
But yeah, I think like Big Sur also has like a history of like the beatniks going there, a lot of artists being in there. So it kind of has that vibe too. But then there's the whole protected national forest area too. So
it's amazing if you've never driven the one and you have an opportunity in your lifetime,
even just like a tiny
just a section of it. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. A good chunk of Central California up towards the northern part where San Francisco and the Bay Area is, just unspeakable beauty. So you'll get a little taste of that. AC, you ever driven on the one?
A long time ago.
Pacific Coast Highway. It is windy at areas too. So if you're somebody who gets car sick, want to keep your eyes on the road.
A little scary.
A little scary sometimes. Yeah. Drive safe on the edge. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, let's get on out there. Let's get out there in some nature. Let's go.
Nature is amazing and so are you.
You're amazing. Look at that. Look at this wibbly bark.
If that's not Fibonacci,
Wow. Wow.
How did I get it to stay with me?
Nature's tripod. Wow. Wow. Yeah, cool. Wow. Apparently, I've never been in the redwoods before. Oh, wow.
apparently, the redwood trees are pretty large and exciting. And apparently,
Wow. So where's the echo?
come back here again. Here's some wedge stuff.
This shit's crazy looking. It's like almost like you're in a cavern. You know?
And apparently, if I was just a little boy,
Bless you. It's like a dinosaur standing here. It's their legs. It's their crotch, really.
Can you take a picture of me?
Sure. It's a tall giant. There's his face up there. Hello. Whoa, a bird just flew by. Hi. Oh my goodness. Oh my lord. Oh my word.
I tell them this
Oh my
music,
lambs.
the closer it gets, I want to just.
Oh, look at this wall over here.
Good, yeah. And he's like, but they're saying we're going
He can make it still. Yeah, but I say have it ready to.
I know, dude. They're beautiful.
Nature is amazing and so are you.
Yes, yes. Soothing. And Owen Wilson was there. Wow. Wow.
No way.
Yeah, so that was like you through Fernwood, which is a pretty famous campsite, I think, in the area.
Yeah, I like books up like a year in advance.
Which is really, really gorgeous. They have cabins and they have camping spots that are along the river, and there's little hikes you can take into the forest there that kind of go like up and down.
It was the Wizard Circle.
Actually, very accessible up it to that tree.
Yeah, yeah, and then it goes up like a bit. The hike at that point turns up a steeper.
But there's some
thing,
but there's some parts of that are like all flat.
Yeah, you could definitely easily like if you were in a wheelchair or something, like at least do that first part of the hike to the Wizard Circle. That's what Marty calls it. And it's like this grouping of trees, and like in the middle there's like evidence of someone maybe like burnt it out a little bit, or maybe there was a lightning strike or something like that. But it feels like a little room.
Yeah.
It feels like a weird little outdoor cathedral. And it's got a vibe for sure. So our boy Marty went there like just, to reflect and stuff as he was getting ready to marry the love of his life. And he was like, you guys should go to the Wizard Circle. And we had nothing to do that day. We were just kicking it, and we went. And I'm so glad we did.
Yeah. And it's crazy how there's like up, you go up the hill and there's kind of more sort of meadowy areas, and that was all in the sun, and it was probably like 20 or 30 degrees difference between like the forest floor.
Yeah, definitely.
Versus up there. But yeah, really pretty spot. Just Big Sur in general, really cool.
For sure. And I was just doing that Owen Wilson voice. It wasn't actually Owen Wilson. I was just amazed.
You and Chris are very
me and my cousin Chris, we hadn't seen each other for a while. So yeah, we were definitely being maximum silly. He was quoting from some internet video where there's like a little kid that would say literally, and I was saying the Owen Wilson stuff like wow. So we were just having a good day in the woods, you know what I'm saying? So nature is amazing, and it's a really great way to kind of reconnect and take a screen break and all that. So yeah, it's just another potential option for y'all being protective and proactive with your mental health and protecting your very peace, your peace of mind, right? I can't wait until it starts to warm up again and we can maybe take some nature walks around here, because there's a lot of really great forest preserves in the Chicagoland area, even though it might feel like there's not a lot of nature and mostly concrete. So just got to go looking for it. There's sculpture parks and the arboretum not too far from the city and all that. So pretty cool stuff. Oh, also, I wanted to ask you, on that wall there, so there was a restaurant that we had like the rehearsal dinner at right along the waterfront there. So you got to see what it looks like along the Pacific Coast Highway and how the ocean just goes forever and like almost turns into sky, right? Behind you, there was like all these cool sculptures on the wall. It looked like driftwood, but it looked like there was plants growing out of it. What was that?
Yeah, so they're just like driftwood that they've like hired.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There you go.
We saw them for a sec. Yeah.
Yeah. Those guys.
So succulents have like a really small root system. Like if you just pull a succulent out of the soil, its roots are like really short in comparison to other plants. So you can kind of plant them in something that isn't very large.
So they're like planted in like on a wood piece?
Yeah, like you can just kind of plop them in there in a way. But also those right there are air plants.
What's an air plant?
They are plants that grow, I think, in South America mostly.
Like in the rainforest?
They grow on trees.
In the air?
They don't. Yeah, their root systems. Yeah, this one isn't looking so good. I'm very bad at air plants.
They're tough.
They basically don't have like roots at all. So like some of them have longer roots, and they'll like kind of just grow on the side of a tree and like maybe kind of wrap around that. But yeah, they can just grow in the air. And,
that's cool.
Yeah, so like those are another thing that you can kind of just like add on to a piece of driftwood, and all they need is like to be soaked in water or misted every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing that was crazy about that last little spot was that restaurant had been like converted water tanks, like the big circular buildings were once these like tanks of water that they would like store water for the, I guess, people that lived in the area.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so they were like perfect cylinders, and they had like converted them into this like restaurant. We were sitting outside, obviously, but like it was a pretty cool spot, and we just wanted to share it with you because in toast to the love of Marty and Kate and wizards everywhere. So yeah, that was pretty fun. Pretty fun shit. Well,
what is that?
What is that? What? Oh no.
Come here.
Our cat.
Come here.
Our Gandalf.
No,
came down the stairs with a feather in his mouth. Hopefully he didn't get any other of your natural goodies.
How did you find that?
I don't know. Maybe he was going through your stuff.
All right.
You know.
Let's move on.
All right.
Keep it
cool.
moving, Mister
Producer over here. Keep it moving. Am I?
Keep
Am I doing
going.
it?
Yeah. Who's next? What's next?
Well, next we're gonna have Dan Wade on. Yeah, we're gonna have Dan Wade on the live stream, and we're gonna be able to talk to him about some stuff. I'm not sure if he's waiting backstage yet or not, but maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I know he is a family man, so he had to find time to step away from the family and join us to chat a bit today. Do you know if he's in there? If he is, bring him out. There he is.
Hey, what's up?
Look at that dude. What's up, man?
How are you guys?
Doing good.
pretty good. It's you know, a lovely Sunday when we get to hang out and do this with y'all, and we couldn't be happier to have you with us today, man. How's the fam? How's the dad's birthday party going?
Oh, well, we ended up not going because my daughter Brooklyn is sick. So
Oh shit, man, I'm sorry.
yeah, it's been a pretty rough week, but she's I think she's on the other side of it. She probably has RSV, which is the thing that's going around
Damn, dude.
I saw that
among all the kids.
infographic you
Yeah.
shared that it's like 5,000% or something crazy. Like
Yeah,
That's madness for real.
everybody, yeah.
yeah. We went to our pediatrician's office for their walk-in hours on Friday, and it was packed. Like I've never seen so many sick kids in my life.
Oh,
So
That
yeah,
sucks.
she's doing all right. We've been taking the doctor told us to bring her in the shower and like not put her in the water, but like let her like just breathe in the steam.
yeah.
So yeah, we've just been taking like steam showers and like, put a Christmas movie on my phone. It's like it's actually pretty relaxing.
Yeah.
But
Jeez.
yeah, she feels like crap. And I was actually right before I jumped on the stream, I was folding some laundry, helping out while Lindsay gave Brooklyn some TLC. So that's what we've been up to this week. So no birthday party for my dad today, but
Yeah.
they're very
That's okay.
understanding.
I'm sure he's down to do it whenever you guys are able, and I'm sure he would rather have his sweet little granddaughter with him. So
I think that was the deal breaker. I think no Brooklyn, no birthday.
Aw.
well, happy birthday to Grandpa Wade anyway, and we're sending love to you and Lindsay.
Oh, thank you.
So that you guys can find little bits of like peace, maybe through a little steam shower and Christmas movie kind of thing,
Yeah. We've been cooped up like pretty much all week, and thankfully, my job's been super flexible. I've been able to just work from home for most of the week because we had to pull Brooklyn out of daycare. So last night, Lindsay was feeling super cooped up, so she found this route of really cool decorated houses like in the like western suburbs of Chicago, and plugged into like a multi-stop Google Map route. And so our doctor also told us it was good to get Brooklyn like out of the house and get her some fresh air. So we loaded her up in the car and we just drove around the burbs looking at all these Christmas lights. So what a lot of the houses do now, like the ones that are at least these destinations, they have a sign out front that'll say like tune your radio to like 89.1 or 88.9 or something, and then you tune in and they have the light show programmed to a whole bunch of Christmas songs. So we were just sitting in front of and it's like they'll have it programmed to the crazy like heavy metal Christmas tunes and like
Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
yeah, like the Trans-Siberian like Nutcracker Suite. And there's one we never heard before. They had it tuned into, it was like an EDM version of Jingle Bells. Yeah, it was nuts. And I guess I've been kind of living in a Christmas light bubble for the last couple of years. I didn't know people like went so crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're blowing my mind right now. I knew that
Yeah.
that was a thing, but I didn't know that it had become like kind of like more common for people to go to those lengths of, because I don't even really know what would be required to have like an FM band like that is kind of informing your light show.
We don't know either. We were like watching these multiple light shows, and I'm assuming it's easy enough to do, but
Right.
I was completely blown away.
That's such a cool way to make something special out of like a shitty circumstance, man. Like I think that's almost like the best example of resilience that I can think of is just like being like in a situation where you're cooped up and then like finding a way, a pretty special way, no less, to go be entertained and get out of the house and get some of that Yule spirit going as well. You guys are big in celebrating the holiday, I assume.
Yeah, we're big Christmas celebrators. You probably know, like every year, my family has a big Christmas Eve party, and we play Christmas tunes with like piano and guitar, and my cousin flies in with her saxophone. So yeah, like we definitely go all out. I've
It's like
written
a full-on production, the Wade family
oh,
Christmas.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you have a few brothers that like to belt it out with you, right?
my youngest brother Matt plays the piano, and then my middle brother Alex, he's kind of like the MC of the evening, so he usually kind of leads all the singing, and he'll pull up my cousin's kids, and give them a microphone and let them sing some
That's
songs.
great.
Yeah, it is a wild party. We usually always post a video on Christmas Day or the day after of us, playing one of the highlights. And usually my dad requests some kind of non-Christmas song. And so like one year he wanted us to do like Ray Charles Mess Around.
Nice.
So like Matthew had to spend, I think, like a whole month like learning that on the piano because
Oh, I bet, man.
he was
like,
a little
"Damn
out
it,
of practice.
Dad."
Yeah.
Yeah, Ray's no slouch on the keys.
Yeah.
Oh man, I bet he nailed it though. Like, do you end up picking out like a set list for a night like that, or like is that like Alex's duties?
We usually get together on like the 23rd at my parents' house, and so we'll just kind of go through like the whole songbook, and we'll make some cuts. Like I don't know if Frosty makes the cut every year, like some of the golden oldies, and then like a couple years ago we learned Mariah Carey, "All I Want for Christmas Is You," and that was a huge hit with the family. So yeah, every year we try to play like one or two new ones that we haven't learned yet. And my mom's only request is that we play the song Susie Snowflake every year. So
Susie Snowflake.
Yeah, that's her only request. So we always play that one.
You have to, if mom says,
Right.
Yeah, man. That Mariah Carey song, as much as people shit on it all the time around this time of year, because it just takes over. The progression of that song had to be super fun to learn, man. The chord progression.
It's super fun. I'm echoing.
Oh, that might have been when Scott pulled up this TikTok. I don't know. I got echo too. What do you got? Scott? What are you playing?
I don't want a lot for Christmas. What? There's just one thing I need. I don't care about them presents underneath the Christmas tree. I just want you for my own. More than you could ever know. Make my wish come true. All I want for Christmas.
Yes, responding.
You.
That's hilarious.
That was like one of the houses that we saw last night, but the radio station wasn't tuned into that version of the song.
Yeah.
No, that version of the song. That's my new fave. I think that was weird as hell. Nice find, Scott. Yeah. Oh man. You know what? Speaking of Christmas songs, I think it'd be fun. You can nix this, but I remember you writing a really kick-ass Christmas song. I don't know, it had to be like 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
But you guys also wrote one in Treaty as well, right?
Yeah.
I think Scott's got both of those pulled up, and they're on the shorter side. Would you be interested in like revisiting one of those? Sharing one of your Christmas songs with the world, maybe both of them. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't mind at all. Why don't you pick whichever one you want to start with?
I really think
there's a story for both of them.
It first. Should I? I think the video you did for your Christmas song, it's got Lindsay in it too, and I want to show Lindsay some love too. Maybe not next year, right?
Yeah, maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe next year. Here we go. Let's go. And I'm echoing again, so I'm gonna shut up.
that time of year again. Where did our summer go? It's buried out there with our cars underneath the snow. Unpack the ornaments, decorate your tree.
There she is.
Baby, it's cold outside. I'm seeing red and green. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Hope you're drinking something stronger than a cup of cheer. 'Tis the season, our feet are freezing. There's no sentimental feeling. Old man winter's here. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from someplace warm away from here. Maybe next year. I took my shovel out, dug out half the block. Feeling some kind of way about the lawn chairs in my bargain spot.
Where's
That time
Molly?
of the year again, enjoy your holiday. It doesn't matter if we're cold, still gonna celebrate. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Hope you're drinking something stronger than a cup of cheer. 'Tis the season, our feet are freezing. There's no sentimental feeling. Old man winter's here. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from someplace warm away from here. Maybe next year. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Hope you're drinking something stronger than a cup of cheer. 'Tis the season, our feet are freezing. There's no sentimental feeling. Old man winter's here. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from someplace warm away from here. Maybe next year.
Yeah!
Molly.
Molly, cameo from Molly, a cameo from your lovely wife, Lindsay.
That was a really fun one to make. I think I made that for a live stream. So our friend Mark Rose, you know
Yeah.
Mark, he did like a holiday live stream on Facebook, and so he tapped me and a bunch of other artists to do a song, and we could either pre-record it or perform it live. So what I did was I had the recording from like 2015 or whichever year I put that song out, and so my collaborator Scott Sweeney, who
Oh yeah.
yes, Scott works with me on most of my songs. Like usually I will send him like every demo and idea that I write, and then he'll tell me if it's good or not. And then he at least for my most recent solo stuff, he's been the mixer on it. And so he had the files for that song, and so we actually just pulled the lead vocal and the acoustic track from the original recording, and then he sent me a mix that's just what you hear on that video, and then I tracked an additional lead guitar on it. So
Perfect.
yeah, just studio magic, all fake. I wasn't singing anything there. It was
Wow.
actually my vocal from the old recording, but
Great, dude.
the video came out pretty great. And then that was my first time using Adobe Premiere to like cut a video together. So that was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, with the timeline and stuff, and
Mhm.
yeah, I've messed around with Premiere a couple times. It's definitely more of a pro standard than like iMovie stuff that I'm like most comfortable with. But man, you could do
Right.
some really cool shit on there.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it's super fun.
air guitar solo was
Yeah.
that's some solid air guitar. Please tell Lindsay I said so.
Yeah, I had her sit in the chair, and I put the camera on her, and she's like, "What do you want me to do?" And I said, "Just do whatever you want." And so all those clips of her were just from one take of her just being
That's
herself.
so fun.
Yeah, she's so fun in videos. Like she does a good job.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. Didn't you guys meet at that video shoot you did for a song like years prior?
Yeah,
Like,
you were in that video.
I was there.
so-
I was in the video. I was
Yeah.
there with our boy Adam Stein and a
That's right. Adam was there.
bunch of other friends.
Yeah, yeah, that was the video. I have a song called Snake Rattle, and so, yeah, we shot that video. I think in the winter. It was like I want to
Yeah, it was
say,
cold out. It was definitely cold.
yeah, I think it was like December 2013 or something. And Lindsay and I had just started dating, and so we had been friends for a long time. And then shortly before we shot the video, her and I started to like get serious and like romantically involved. And so we weren't ready to like tell our friends yet. And so at the video shoot, it was like this big secret between me and her that we were actually dating, even though she
Yeah.
was technically like just supposed to be like the actress in the video. But we were definitely making eyes at each other for real.
It was
We were
yeah, it was
shooting
it was
Oh, that's
genuine.
awesome.
It was captured too, because like everybody there was like, oh, she's cast as the love interest. She's beautiful. That makes sense. And then like shortly thereafter, like duh.
Yeah, it's funny
So
how
that-
it worked out.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, it was fun to like pretend to have a house party too for that music video too. So everybody, make sure you go down the Dan Wade rabbit hole on YouTube. There's a bunch of really great videos and stuff like that. The other thing I wanted to ask about this particular song, did you go into it when you wrote the song, like wanting to write a Christmas song? Was that like an exercise for you? Like,
Yeah,
or was it like it accidentally became a Christmas song?
I started writing it with the intention of writing a Christmas song, and so I purposefully made the chords. I wanted to make them sound like Christmassy, and then there's that like harmonic, like arpeggiated
Yeah.
thing I do in the intro that you hear that melody on tons of Christmas songs with like bells and stuff. So I was trying to emulate that, and then I noticed that in a ton of Christmas songs, there's like a whole bunch of like chromatic chord movements where it just starts in one place and it just moves down a half step and a half step and another half step. And so that's in part of the chorus. So yeah, I really kind of like studied up on my Christmas tunes and tried to incorporate a lot of the stuff that I heard in some of my favorites into that song. And then I think I had the music written for a while, and I had an acoustic demo that I tracked with Scott Sweeney and sat on it for a long time. And then I think finally, whenever it was like the before Christmas 2015, I finally buckled down and got some lyrics written for it. But yeah, I mean, I hate writing lyrics, so I procrastinated until I gave myself a real deadline of like, well, the song is coming out like December 1st or whatever, so I have to write these lyrics. So yeah, I ended up tracking that whole thing of the studio version, and like all the guitars are just like fake amps from like GarageBand or Logic Pro or something, and then Scott mixed the whole thing for me in Pro Tools. But
Nice.
all the drums are like programmed and everything. But it's funny because I was just reading about that Mariah Carey Christmas song, and I guess that was a song where she and her collaborator, it's the guy who wrote "My Heart Will Go On" from Celine Dion.
No way.
Yeah, I forget his name, but he was Mariah's like main songwriting collaborator for years, and they were working on the Christmas album, and they wrote "All I Want for Christmas Is You" at the like on the last day of their like writing sessions, and they just cranked it out in like 15 minutes, and then
Wild.
they ended up getting back together to track it, and so she recorded the vocals, and so I guess they had this arrangement where all the music was with a full band. They hired a band, playing live instruments. And I guess the mix, she wasn't happy with how it sounded. And everybody involved was like, yeah, this song is like not happening. And so they scrapped the live band version. And her collaborator, this dude, he played everything himself. So he programmed all the drums, played the bass, played the piano, and everything. Because everything on there kind of has this like it's almost kind of like it lives in the musical uncanny valley, right? Like the drums kind of sound a little fake, you know, like everything is like a little too perfect, which kind of it creates this, like, you think about like Christmas time and like everything is kind of like dreamlike and this like heightened sense of reality. It's like all the blemishes and imperfections of things are kind of polished off, uh, for like a this image of like a Christmas wonderland. And so that song has that vibe, and it's all because the other version wasn't happening. So this guy was like, I know what to do. I'm just gonna play it all myself.
That's crazy.
That's
AC, I see you nodding your head real hard over there. Do you're familiar with that story?
It's on the tip of my tongue. I know who you're talking about, Dan, and I'm mad because it's seriously on the tip of my tongue. But yeah, I did hear the story about how they had like done that track and totally scrapped it. And
right.
I thought I heard somewhere too that it almost didn't happen. Like if he had he not have gone back and just said, I'm just going to do it all myself, it might not be here or something.
Right. Totally. Yeah. He totally saved the song.
It's amazing. That's amazing because it's definitely the most played for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just one of them things. I like what you said about like the holiday season and like how that translated with this this music that was almost too perfect.
Yeah.
It's like all sparkly like Christmas lights.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. There's so I was like looking around this morning, and I remember the Treaty Christmas song. Treaty of Paris is a band that you co-founded with our friend Michael Shorvat, and you guys you had a full band version of that too that you released as well, right? Because I found a version of you performing it solo in a radio studio on YouTube that's really great. I'd like to share, but did you guys recorded that and did a full-on Treaty version, correct?
Yes, and that's on streaming services. I ended up putting that online like 2 or 3 years ago, I think. But yeah, that's a song where at the time, Mike and I were living in a house together in Elk Grove Village, and the Treaty of Paris band house.
Right.
Kind of an infamous time in our lives, and we had a lot of house parties and lots of loud band practices, and we wrote a lot of songs in that house. And Mike and I we didn't really collaborate on a level where we would get together and write a song. Like we would go off into our own rooms, our own corner of the house. We'd write a song by ourselves and then present it to the other person and be like, hey, here's my new song. And then, the other person would then kind of like go through like the editing process. And so this is an occasion where I think I was just sitting in my room on a Saturday. I had nothing to do. And so I intentionally wanted to write a Christmas song. And I was feeling really inspired by like the Charlie Brown Christmas soundtrack. And I had a CD when I was a teenager called Merry Xmas, where it was all these like rock and roll guitar covers, like Brian Setzer and Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, Christmas guitar covers. And so I was
Xmas.
Totally. I was thinking of all those, and I was thinking of the Charlie Brown Christmas, and I was just kind of like, when you kind of just get that spark of inspiration, and it feels kind of vague, but you're just like, I'm not really sure where I'm getting this from, but I'm just gonna roll with it. And so I demoed the song in a day. I wrote it and demoed it, and I kind of came out of my room like, I'm sure I was looking like all haggard after like sitting in there all day. And I found Mike, and I was like, I wrote a Christmas song. He was like, he's like, that's what you were doing in there all day? All right, cool. So I sang the melody line on it, and then we were getting ready to like turn it into a treaty song. Mike was like, you know what? You should still sing the melody line. I'll sing the harmony. So we ended up just doing it that way and just recorded this really simple version where it's just like a couple guitars, some tambourine, and then our two harmonized vocals. And so that's the version that's out there now. But that song in particular, like really like proud of my guitar work on that song. Like out of all the songs Treaty did, you know, that silly Christmas song, I go back to it and I'm like, you know, you really did a good job on that one, buddy.
Did you guys perform that live as a band?
Yeah, we did. We ended up playing it. We did some show at the Metro where we opened for the band The Hush Sound. It was their Christmas
Cool.
show. I want to say in like 2009. And so we debuted it at that show. And then in subsequent years, we've played it anywhere from, you know, like Ryan Powers and I did like a holiday theme show in the Double Door
Oh,
Basement.
the Double Door Basement. That was
Yeah.
so fun.
Yeah, I want to say we played it there. Like we did an acoustic version, and then we did a couple Christmas shows in 2011 with the band Ludo. One at Metro and one in their hometown of St. Louis, and we played it at those shows for sure. And then when Treaty was getting ready to play, it was in 2019. We got invited to play New Year's Eve with Motion City Soundtrack at House of Blues.
Yeah.
And so I talked the guys into doing like a headline warm-up show at Cobra Lounge on like December 28th or 29th or something. And so, you know, we didn't have any new material or really any creative ways to, you know, just promote our own show. So I think that was the year I ended up uploading the song to streaming services. And then I went on that local college radio show and did my own version that is up on YouTube now.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of breathed a little bit of new life into the song, and you know, I think the song turned out great. I was really happy with it.
I think it's amazing.
Thanks.
Let's watch that college radio performance because I think the song stripped down like that is amazing.
All right, cool.
I don't need anything for Christmas, anything at all. Don't need no new TV under a plastic tree. Don't need to get lost in the crowds at the shopping mall. So let it snow till the schools are closed. Let the cold winds freeze Lake Michigan over. The Arctic breeze doesn't bother me. If I got you, I don't need anything for Christmas. I don't need anything for Christmas, save for one small wish. A secret to be told under the mistletoe. I'll seal the moment with a simple kiss. So let it snow till the schools are closed and the cold winds freeze Lake Michigan over. The Arctic breeze doesn't bother me. If I got you, I don't need anything for Christmas. I don't need anything for Christmas, just your heart is all. Don't need no gift receipt, don't need no warranty. I'm happy to have you exactly as you are. So let it snow till the schools are closed, let the cold winds freeze Lake Michigan over. The Arctic breeze doesn't bother me. If I got you, I don't need anything for Christmas. If I got you, I don't need anything for Christmas. If I got you, I don't need anything for Christmas.
Yeah. That's cool,
Yeah.
man. That's pretty
Just-
cool. That's a great song, and hearing you and Mike sing it together is really great too. And when you mentioned that Double Door Basement show, I brought back some great memories because I was there. Matt Alfano was there. AC might have even been there, man. And I just remember those Double Door days when you were you were bar backing over there and stuff, and run like I'd see you at every show I went to. You'd be like scurrying around back there, helping out the bartenders.
Always scurrying.
Yeah.
When I first started bar backing there, I remember like I was so intent on like I wanted to be like the best bar back, and my manager had to pull me aside and be like, you don't have to constantly pace around behind the bar. Like if the bartenders are good, you can go take a break, you can stand off to the side, you can just hang back. But he's like, you don't need to be always on. And I was like, no, like this is a war, I'm gonna win it.
Yeah, man. I think once the Double Door up in Uptown like reopens or whatever, that's going to be a really, really special thing. I'm going to bring back a lot of memories for a lot of us. But you've since gone on to be the art director at Riot Fest and like responsible for like that aesthetic that is fucking everywhere. Like you've done such a really nice job with that.
That's nuts, right?
How did that happen?
A friend of mine who worked at Riot Fest at the time, my friend Buck, who also played bass for me.
Oh yeah, Buck.
In my full band for at the time, you know, I called the band Daniel Wade because I thought it sounded more professional, and now I just play as Dan Wade, and you know that's what everyone calls me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't currently have like a full band lineup per se. But at the time, Buck worked at Riot Fest and you know, played bass in my band, and so he had hit me up in I think it was like the summer of 2014 and said that their designer they hired, who was also another friend of his, quit, and so they needed someone who could just fill in, you know, immediately and get a bunch of stuff made for them. You know, they needed some posters and flyers and ads made because they were doing Riot Fest in Chicago, Denver, and Toronto at the time.
Oh,
and so
yeah.
they had so many like ad materials that they just needed made, and they weren't able to keep up with the workload. And so I talked to my boss at Double Door, and I arranged to go help out at the Riot Fest office for a week, and then just do my Double Door design stuff from home, still coming in bar backing on Thursday nights or whatever. And then the week after I did the work for Riot Fest, Buck called me and basically said, you know, hey, they want to offer you a job. Can you start tomorrow? And so I basically got off the phone and told my boss at Double Door that I quit. Like that was it. I was like, I think I'm gonna go work for Riot Fest. But I ended up working on an arrangement with Double Door where I stayed on. I stayed on bar backing, and then you know I started there as an intern in like 2004, doing their ads and their gig posters, and I eventually redesigned their logo to the one that you sort of see now. And so I stayed on doing all that stuff, just working remotely until Double Door closed in, I think it was March 2017 now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just one of those things where it was right place, right time. I knew the right person. And, you know, when I got the job, I thought, I'm going to hold on to this job. I'm going to show them that I am the best guy for this job. And so I think I've been there. I think this summer I just had my 8-year anniversary there.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. That's so cool. And like just all the cool stuff that's happened recently. If you like think back to when you started, like, does it all kind of seem like almost like a dream in some ways?
Well, it definitely has kind of morphed into my dream job for sure. You know, I think when I started, I didn't have the creative confidence that I have now. Like, you know, as an artist, as a designer, you know, even as a musician, you know, I don't think I was very confident. And as the years have gone on, and you know, I've sort of proven to the powers that be over at Riot Fest that, you know, I have what it takes to make their festival look great. You know, I've gotten more and more creative freedom, and I don't know, for whatever reason, I just kind of get like what they're brand is and what they're trying to do. And you know, my boss has told me, and he's told like he told Lindsay at the fest that he likes the fact that I just know what he wants and that he doesn't have to give me a ton of direction, that I can just figure it out. And I heard that feedback and I was like, okay, man, whatever you say. Like, so I guess I'm doing something right. But yeah, it has morphed into the kind of this dream job because I have a lot of creative autonomy to just make really, really fun stuff.
Hell yeah.
And like we just did you know, we did like a holiday merch drop. And so I designed a Riot Fest ugly holiday sweater. We've done them in the past where it was like just like a print on like a sweatshirt where it just kind of looks like a holiday sweater, but it's just, you know, it's a print. But this was like our first real like actual like knit sweater. And so, you know, when it came down to make it, it was just like, well, I got to make the decision here. And we ended up doing like a skull. Yeah, there it is. Skull with a Santa hat. So yeah, I'm super proud of my work there. And I also have to give it a shout out to our, I don't even know what her title is. I always want to say she's my assistant designer, but she's a lot more than that now. She's our brand manager, Monique Duran, who is a super talented illustrator and designer. And she's great too, because I can just, there's certain things I can delegate to her and say, hey, I want you to create something that looks like such and such. And she just does it. Like she did our holiday card this year. Like we're doing a holiday card where I had the idea of what if it was like that meme where it was the dog that says like, this is fine. And the whole room is on fire. But instead of saying this is fine, what if it was, so like our unofficial mascot at Riot Fest is Mihao, who's our boss's dog. He's like this little white fluffy dog. And we always,
I didn't know that part.
yeah, we always sneak them into the creative, you know, like whenever we put out a new ad mat for, you know, when we put the lineup out, you know, in the spring or whenever we put it out, you know, there's usually a very splashy, colorful ad mat and there's a lot of illustrations on it. And then somewhere in there's some kind of, you know, little white dog in there somewhere. And so I asked her to do an illustration of, you know, what if it's Mihao, but instead of saying this is fine, he's saying this is nice. And he's just like drinking a cup of hot cocoa. And she wanted to do something that involved the snow globe. So I said, what if you had him in the snow globe? And it was this like nice winter scene in the snow globe. And then outside of the snow globe, you know, there was like fire, you know, to reference that meme, you know. And she was like, you got it. And then, you know, 12 hours later, she sends me a draft and it was like exactly what I'd hoped it looked like. So it's cool. It's a fun gig and lots of really creative people work there. It's great.
For sure. I know it means, I know the fest itself is really important to AC. AC spends his birthday, like his birthday falls right on the fest pretty much every year, right?
Every year.
Yeah.
Either
so that's
Friday,
his birthday.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Man. AC, this year you went on Friday for Taking Back Sunday on their guest list, and you got to taste some Riot Pop, didn't you? Did you get any of the Riot Pop? Yeah, the seltzers, the can of like hard seltzer that was Riot Pop.
I had the Moscow Mules.
Oh, you were drinking on the hard liquor.
Yeah.
It sounds like cans that were going around were also Dan's. Dan's design. Was that the first time that you had a can? You guys did a beer before, didn't you?
Yeah, we did like a beer with Goose Island. So Goose Island does, you know, collaborations with all their businesses. Like they're doing one right now with the Blackhawks, where it's like, you know, the Blackhawks Pale Ale or something, and I would not be surprised if it tasted very similar to the Riot Fest Pale Ale that we did with them. Because I think, and again, you know, Mike, you can attest to this. We spent a lot of time at the old Goose Island Wrigleyville bar.
We did.
You know, going to each other's shows and jumping on stage, and you know, I think I saw Our Name Is Jonas there at least a half dozen times. And you know, one of the great things about that place, it's too bad it's gone, but is they had all these great beers on draft. And one of their draft beers that they never put in a can was that Green Line Pale Ale. Super solid, really well balanced pale ale, and tastes a lot like the Riot Fest Sucks ale that we did with them. And I wouldn't be surprised if it tasted similar to the Blackhawks Pale Ale. So I think they use the Green Line Pale Ale as sort of like their beer that they do for, you know, collaborations, because
it's a solid recipe that they're
it's just a good recipe, right?
Yeah.
I got real drunk on Green Line right before I went to Bruce Springsteen.
Oh,
Nice.
yes.
So that
Yeah.
tracks.
We used to have it at Double Door on draft as well, and yeah, that was like a really solid like shift beer. You know, like after we
For
clocked
sure.
out, you know,
Real
just
good.
pour myself one of those. But yeah, I did the art for the can, and that was something where I worked pretty closely with the Goose Island marketing team on it, and it was just a situation where we already kind of had the elements from our advertising, and I handed it over to them, and then they put the can design together. So it was like technically like a lot of elements I created, but they laid it out in a way that made sense for them. And this Riot Pop thing was a little different because we started from the ground up, and we collaborated with this seltzer company called System Seltzers. That's I believe they're based out of Chicago, and I think they brew their seltzers in Wisconsin, but they're based out of Chicago. And so yeah, they do like a what was it? They do a mango seltzer and a cherry one. And so they're a great company to work with. Anthony Spina, who's like one of the owners, you know, he's been around the Chicago bar scene for years. Like he was one of the guys who kind of helped old style sort of come back from irrelevance. And you know, I don't know if you guys remember from a few years back, but all of a sudden like every bar was selling old style. And
the handshake.
Totally,
Chicago
yeah.
handshake.
Yeah. His team was responsible for all that marketing behind that beer. And so now he runs the seltzer company, and he pretty much said, you know, Riot Fest, whatever you guys want to do. And so I worked pretty closely with my boss on it. You know, he had a pretty specific vision of he wanted to just be super eye popping and not really look like any other hard seltzers. Because if you look at like the branding for other hard seltzers, a lot of it is like, it's almost kind of marketed to look like, you know, really fruity, like sweet stuff. It almost looks like it's marketed toward like moms.
Yeah.
Like women in their like 30s and 40s. It has this like, you know, like a lot of like very soft pastel colors, you know, really, really clean lines. And, you know, we wanted it to look like, you know, like a comic book explosion sort of. So yeah, that was my first time doing something like that, and, you know, doing the logo and all the can art. And again, that was a situation where I just kind of got to do what I thought looked best, and everyone else involved every step of the way trusted me. And the best part about it though was just seeing all the pictures and videos, and even people at the fest walking around. Like it seemed like a ton of people really like enjoyed drinking them. And you know, we even had like the 0% ones that were
you had the non-alcoholic ones.
Yeah. And so yeah, people were really, really, really into it. I hope we do them again next year, you know.
Yeah.
That'd be so trippy, dude, walking around and seeing people, like tons of people with a can with your art in their hand. Yeah, man. And your baby got to see you perform on that Sunday. You and Tree just rocked it.
Yeah. We reunited, and again, my buddy Scott, who collaborates with me on a lot of my music, you know, when I announced in my, you know, socials that Treaty was reuniting for Riot, he sent me that meme of Obama putting a medal on himself. I was like, all right, that's fair. But I also think like, as a musician, like you book the gig by any means necessary, and so in that case, I literally just asked one of our talent buyers. I was like, hey man, is this the year Treaty plays? And I was sort of half joking, and he was like, actually, this year would make a ton of sense. You guys want the gig? And I was like, let me make some calls. I was not being 100% serious, and I texted our Treaty of Paris group chat. Those guys never responded quicker. Like all four of the guys wrote back within 5 minutes, and they were like, "We are 100% in. Hell yeah!" So yeah, that was, probably one of it was maybe the most fun I've had doing anything in at least the past 5 years.
Hell yeah.
That's so cool, man. We had a blast watching you, and
Yeah.
and is there the potential for new music from you guys as a band?
Yeah, we actually were working on like a new song idea, and I think we got a little too ambitious with thinking that we had the time management and even just the time to write, demo, record, mix, and come up with a release plan for like a new single. And so we got as far as like the rough demo process where Mike handed me a song idea that he kind of had in his back pocket for a while. I sent him back a demo, with some edits, and then he sent me back like another demo with more edits, and we kept going back and forth. And I was like, you know what, I got to pull the plug on this because I don't think we have the time right now at this moment to make this like a great song. And so we kind of put it on the back burner. So I think that something I would love to do, like when I have time, which I don't know when I'm going to, but I would love to get the song finished and see if, the guys want to put it out. But, looking ahead to the future or next year and beyond, I think putting out like a couple new Treaty of Paris singles is a super exciting idea to me, and I definitely want to do it. And I know that, the rest of the guys are down to do it as long as the song we put out is something that we can be proud of and is great.
Yeah,
man. And that's really like grown up and just indicative of how thoughtful and deliberate you are about the art you create, be it visual medium or music. And since I was a young guy, man, like your execution of what you want to do has always been like really, really top notch. And so like I've always looked up to that, and it's probably like something that a lot of people have difficulty with, pulling the plug on something like that, just because they know they don't have the time or ability to like give it what it deserves at that moment in time. And recognize that it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. I think that's like sometimes what gets people to resist saying no in a moment is they're like, if I say no now, it'll never happen. But if it's a creative project like that you want to give your full attention to, or like a certain amount of commitment to, I don't know, I commend you for like setting that boundary because you want it to be like all that it can be.
I think that's a good thing to remember.
Because I know music's important to you as an outlet. I had the pleasure of doing that Punk is Dad show with you guys, reviving some of the Weezer songs I've played so many times with a group of different musicians. It was so fun. Can you talk about, Punk is Dad as a project, how that came to be and why it's important to you?
Sure. Yeah. So my friend, our friend Pete Faulkner, he's a guy that you and I both went to high school with, and I want to say I was a senior when he was a freshman. And I didn't know Pete that well in high school, but I knew that he, really loved, our old band Empyrean, of which you and I are both, ex-members, ex-members of Empyrean. And he was like a young Empyrean fan, and him and I stayed in touch, periodically over the years. But then he went on to, do some big things in Chicago where, he started off as an intern at the Empty Bottle and then went on to be the manager at Thalia Hall. And he's at House of Blues Live Nation these days. But, he's also a dad. He's got 2 young kids and, still just will look for, any reason, any excuse to like get together and play a gig and keep playing music, which I can totally relate to because, I will, there's no gig too small. You know what I mean? Like if someone offers me a chance to play live, I will do everything I can to make it happen. And so Pete reached out to me in 2020 and said, I have a unique opportunity. The venue Fitzgerald's in Berwyn is doing these patio shows, that are, pandemic safe. Cause at the time, there were,
Right.
there was a lot more, all the COVID restrictions were in place. You couldn't do indoor shows, and even the outdoor shows, the venue encouraged people to mask up. And so he said, I have an opportunity to do the show at Fitzgerald's. I want to, put a band together. And so it was the core band was Pete and then his friend Jonathan Fritz on drums. And Pete and John have been friends for a really long time, and they play in another band together called Planets Exploder, which is kind of like a stoner metal sort of band. And so yeah, we played once in 2020, once in 2021, and then I guess the story goes for this show that you played with us that the owner of Fitzgerald's, Will, texted Pete one day and just wrote "Blue Album Brunch?" ? And Pete was just like, all right, like, let us know what dates you're thinking of. We'll do it. And yeah, when I was, Pete was like, do we know a guitarist who's just like, a total ringer, like can ace these Weezer songs in no time, because we had a really, really limited practice schedule. And I was like, yeah, I know. I happen to know a guy who knows every Weezer song.
Yeah, that was fun as hell. And it was cool also to get together with you all and hear, you and Pete mostly, but I mean, I think it's important to John too, to still be able to play, since like John's very busy with Hopewell.
Mm-hmm.
And Pete's very busy with Live Nation, House of Blues, and you're very busy with Riot Fest. To hear the three of you echo the things about why music's important to me, but like in a totally through a different lens as fathers and stuff like that. I think that was really special, because like it's very obvious that you guys, like, your enjoyment of music is not just about being on stage and like having attention on you. It's more about like your output, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think like, adding to that, like, just like you looking at like the bigger picture of like aging, getting older, like, I think for many of us, myself included, like you reach a point where like you realize that maybe playing music isn't paying your bills. Like it wasn't for me. And so, that's when you kind of have to start making compromises. Like, well, what else am I going to do to make money? I'm going to work at a music venue. I'll be a bar back. I'll work for a music festival doing art and graphic design stuff. And, I think for a lot of people, it's much more dramatic, where it's like, oh, maybe I'll become a real estate agent, or I'll become an accountant, and they kind of hang it up, right? Like the guitars stay in the garage and like they just kind of stop playing. And I think at this point in my life, and I think, for Pete and John too, it's like your identity is like, you're a dad, you're a husband, you are the manager of a music venue, you are the part owner of a brewery, you're a graphic designer. And it's easy to kind of lose that part of your identity where you call yourself a musician. That was such an important part of the identity when you were in your 20s and you're a teenager, and even in my 30s. I like 10 years ago, my calendar was just full of gigs. It was just every weekend, whether it was my solo stuff or, Ryan Powers and the Secret Weapons, or, Treaty of Paris, or, filling in with other bands, like it was just, my schedule was just music. And it's not that, now, because, when we have a 7-month-old and, we have other more important obligations, but being able to do Punk His Dad and just being able to play it all, it's like you got to fight to carve out that time because it's so important, at least I think, to not lose that part of your identity because it's easy to be like, yeah, I'll just leave the guitar in the garage and, I'm just going to, I'm a dad now. Like that's my thing. And I think when Pete named the band, like he was basically just poking fun at that whole existential crisis that we all go through. Like, punk is dead, punk is dad. It's like, yep, we're all still punk, we're all still cool, but we're all also pushing strollers around now.
Yeah, dude. Well, I think that's like a perfect place to kind of end our stream today.
Yeah.
Is there anything you wanted to like let people know about that's coming up? Like you've got music out there, Gone or Still Going. That's a single, correct? That's
yeah, I have that song I put out. You can check that out on all the streaming services. The song is actually kind of about what I was just talking about, which is funny. Yeah. And then I'm actually playing a gig. I don't have to plug it because I guess there's no more tickets available, but I'm opening for Matt Pryor from the Get Up Kids. I'm playing at this place called Beard and Belly up on the north side of Chicago. It's this really cool restaurant, and they've been doing these like intimate acoustic gigs with a variety of different artists. And so I'm opening for Matt Pryor a week from today, next Sunday evening. Yeah, I got that coming up. And then I was going to say, other than that, the other musical thing I have in my calendar is I'm going to come see you with Murr at the Golden Dagger on the 21st.
I'm so excited about that. That's going to be a birthday party for us. He's born in December too, and I'm a Christmas baby.
What do you know his actual birthday?
His birthday is the 23rd.
Okay.
And then also it's a benefit for Concerts for Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we were talking, he knows about all the stuff we went through with my mom over the last couple of years, and it was just like very meaningful and special that it worked out where I could open that show acoustic as well. So I'm glad you're going to come to that. Yeah, man. And I think Ryan Powers and the Secret Weapons, like probably somewhere down the line, has some new music coming out because I saw you tracking something. I did.
I
saw your stories.
I was. Yeah, Ryan has some new tunes that we're putting the finishing touches on, and hoping he'll release that stuff in 2023. So hopefully it'll be a really exciting year for all of us in music. And also, I want to say, Erin, is today your birthday?
No, it's Thursday.
Thursday. Okay. Yeah, I saw that you had a birthday coming. Well, happy birthday on Thursday. I wish you happy birthday then, but happy birthday week.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, a lot of good birthdays at this time of year.
Yeah, man.
Grandpa Wade, Aaron Dunbar.
I was just like, is Murr a Sagittarius or a Capricorn? And he's cuspy, so I don't know.
He's cuspy. I don't. Yeah, I don't know if he's a Sagittarius or a Capricorn, but hell of a good musician, and I'm really really psyched for that show. So
me too.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for all your stories, Dan. That was
awesome. It was really nice to catch up with you, man. And thanks for taking some time for the tomorrow show. I know me and AC really had the fucking best time at Double Door way back when Mason's Case was playing there all the time and stuff too. So
I know.
Your involvement in all things that are important to us just is really appreciated. So thanks, man. Self-expression extraordinaire right there. Dan Wade, everybody. So check him out, support him. And and in a couple weeks, we'll be back with the final Tomorrow show of 2023 with lots more segments and another fun guest to learn about with us. And AC's back with Sign of the Times in 2 weeks as well on Friday, streaming on Friday nights. So
hell yeah.
Big thanks to our showrunner, Scott. Thanks for making it look cool. And until next time, enjoy your weeks ahead. And remember, just focus on those little things to get you to tomorrow. That's all we need to do. We need you here, and we need you taking care of yourself however you can. So be safe, everybody.
Stay healthy.
Wear your mask indoors to not be spreading your germs around, and helping out the families that are fighting this surge in RSV, because that sucks. And love to you and your family, Dan.
Love all you guys. Mike, Aaron, AC, and producer Scott. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
It's been a blast, man. We'll see you soon, okay?
All right. Later.
Later, dude.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Twitch. We'll see you soon. Bye, AC. Bye, Phoenix.
Tomorrow show. Tomorrow show. Tomorrow show. Tomorrow show.